I'm Jennifer Goodman with J. Goodman Homes, and I'm here to give you a peek into the history and dedication and an overall on what it really means to live and work and play in various Toronto communities so that you can meet your neighbors or possibly the neighbors that you're thinking about moving next to. And, you know, have you ever had that challenge of moving to a new part of town or even into a new city? Years ago, when I moved from Texas back to my childhood stomping grounds of Toronto, I really didn't know where to go or, you know, what to see or really anything about what the various neighborhoods had to offer. What I love about our city is how distinct each of the neighborhoods is, that people are sometimes attracted to a specific address, but more than that, they're attracted to neighborhoods and they pride themselves on being part of that community. So with that in mind, today I'm here with Dan and Renee Glazier from Frontier Sales Furniture. Thanks for having us in, Dan and Renee.
Thank you for having us.
Definitely, thank you.
So Dan and Renee are actually the third generation in a long line of family running this business. It was started in the 1900s by your grandmother?
1981.
Yes, a century ago, yes.
A century ago.
1981.
Or 1981.
Yes.
1981.
Yes.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about she was really at the forefront of so many things, your grandmother, and being part of this community. So can you tell us a little bit sort of about how she chose this area and really, I know, you know, at one point the store was across the street. You guys have moved it over now. You've got 15,000 square feet here. But can you give us a little bit about the background and your family history?
Sure. Well, it actually started in, we're not 100% sure if it was 1949 or 1950, across the street at 3198 Danforth. It was the local hardware store. Our grandfather and great-grandfather built the building, and it was the local hardware store. Every neighborhood in Toronto had a local hardware, baker, doctor's office, the whole gamut. And it was the hardware store. It was called Pharmacy Hardware, and that went right up into the 70s. And then it was rented out. It was a variety store with the local pinball machines and jukeboxes. And then it was vacant. And then 1981, my grandmother decided to open a used furniture store. And she believed in recycling and reusing and repurposing, and we all thought she was kind of crazy.
Nana was a trendsetter.
Yes, and she used to even get people's plastic bags from the Dominion, it used to be Metro now.
Yeah.
And everybody used to bring their bags too, so she was recycling even, which we thought was crazy too, because you just took your plastic bags and threw them in the garbage, and they went to the dump, and you never had to worry about them again. So she was a trendsetter. It's funny, you look back, you think you were, your crazy grandmother, and she was so far ahead of the time.
Yeah, she really was, and she was also very conscious of a dollar and how hard you had to work to earn that dollar. Mm-hmm. So anything that you had to spend, she wanted to make sure that it was a quality piece, and she would try and save every penny that she possibly could. So that's why she recycled with the newspapers, the bags, everything. She really, really was an incredibly talented and smart businesswoman.
And you said, I remember you telling me the last time we spoke, how people used to really save for furniture and every penny went to buy a chair and you could afford it and you would bring it home. And then she sort of saw this niche, I guess, if you will.
Well, how she actually, Grandma Grace knew everybody in the neighborhood, and what she saw was a need for young people just starting out, or oftentimes it would be a widowed wife with 8 kids at the time, and all of a sudden, they were on their own, and you just couldn't afford anything. You really, really needed to have something that you could purchase that you could still feel proud to have in your home. So she knew that not everybody wanted just antiques. That was basically all that you had at the time. You had a selection from either an antique store, or back then it was really a junk shop, and there were things that were really kind of, curbside ready, but people just didn't have the heart to throw out. So she found a market where people still had clean quality furniture that still had a long life in them, something that somebody could buy and be proud to have in their home, not be ashamed to bring their friends home, or business associates, anything like that.
And that's something that clearly you've got this incredible store, and you're getting furniture from all over the city. I mean, people are bringing their furniture in, and you're going in and bringing your quotes, and you've got things from Forest Hill and Rosedale, and I mean, you run the gamut, and it seems like you've really kind of kept up that opportunity where you're really giving back to people and offering people who might not otherwise be able to afford, a more luxury item, right on down to some things that are sort of a bit lower on the scale.
Absolutely. And the thing is that when somebody is thinking about selling their item, they're like, well, I can either put it on Craigslist or Kijiji. And then you have all these different, people coming into their homes, strangers. Sometimes people don't keep their word. And then you also have, if they don't know that there's a market out there, then they're like, well, I might as well just give it away, or it's going to, landfill.
Grandma had the store across the street. What keeps you on the Danforth?
Well, you know what? It's a unique neighborhood, and it's had its ups and downs, and
Sure.
we're back on the way up. Up the street, you can see they're building condos, and they're not selling really cheap. It's reasonable. It's still an affordable neighborhood. That's one of the reasons we're still here. It is affordable, but at the same time, it's an up and coming neighborhood, and there's something about the East End, and there's something about East End people, and I can meet somebody that's in Whitby at a dinner party, and you get talking, and I could tell right away they're from the East End of Toronto. And this is really the East End of Toronto. People downtown think that Leslieville's the East End of Toronto, but no, this is the East End. This is the East End of Toronto.
We firmly believe in our product, and we also believe in the customers that come see us. And I know that we feel that there's a personal responsibility that we owe them, because they have supported us, they have supported our family for so long. This is, like Dan said, we're third generation, actually all 4 generations, because my nephew Dan's son, Jacob, he actually is a huge part of our IT, and he helps us out with certain marketing on our website and things like that. But now we've actually gotten to know our clients generation by generation, and so we want to make sure that we are here for them, and we still offer the amazing products. We're on the main TTC line, so people that do move out of the neighborhood that can't afford a car, can't afford insurance, they can still come see us. I mean, we firmly believe in frontier sales. We believe in the vision that our grandmother had all those years ago, and we really want to keep it coming to fruition and to the forefront.
Well, you guys are, it's evident you are so dedicated, and your level of service, and that you do care, and you are in here every day, and I guess, you really are making a difference in this neighborhood, and for that, we thank you in the East End. And I guess really, thanks for having us in today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
It's been great. Thank you very much.
I'm Jennifer Goodman. We're after the J. Goodman Homes life. We've got a different perspective on real estate and community. We're focusing on you and your neighborhood, and that's what we call success. Thanks for tuning in.